If you're ready to explore the Hebrew roots of your Christian faith, then grab your Bible and let's get started. Welcome. Welcome on today. I know today is a holiday for many people, so I'm most definitely thankful for those who can join me on today. But I want us to focus on something that we don't really think about. The moment that Yehovah changed Jacob's name to Israel, this was a game changer. Actually, the moment that Jacob received the firstborn blessing, that is when things began. The older serving the younger. You see, Jacob was chosen in his mother's womb. You remember she sought Jehovah out and trying to figure out what was going on. He was called to be the chosen father of the nation of Israel. Now, this is the first nation to be the light to bring in other nations. This is the nation that our Messiah, Yeshua, had came from. Welcome to Reconcile the Kingdom, where we're working towards becoming in harmony of the whole word of truth. My name is Patrice Robinson, and I greatly appreciate every last one of you that join me again today in this live premiere on this holiday that most people are celebrating. And I also want to thank those who will be joining me on the replay. Most definitely, everyone is greatly appreciated. But this is your first time visiting on today. I really appreciate you taking time out and stopping by here on today. If it's your 50th time, your 100th time, or 300th time, I welcome you too. I thank you for stopping by here on today. But I hope that you are ready to join this family, that you're just not stopping by, that you're ready to join this family that does not mind searching the scriptures, the family that does not mind challenging the religious system's teachings that we have been under for hundreds of years, a family that has committed themselves as a lifetime student of the Bible who does not mind exploring the Hebrew roots of our Christian faith. It is easy to join this family because it's totally free. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button below and that bell. That bell lets you know when I'm live, when there's any announcements or any updates that's coming from this ministry. And don't forget, that is not the only way that you can support this ministry. You can support this ministry by hitting, not only hitting that subscribe button, but making comments. Send me a message. Let me know that you have stopped by here on today. And give me a heart. Let me know that you stopped by during the replay. Making comments, we communicate. This is the main reason why I decided to do live, because we are a community and we need to communicate with one another. Share this link right now while you're live. Share this link to others, because if you're learning something, someone else can learn something. And share the link when you're on the replay. Giving me a thumbs up. Now, a thumbs up is important because it let YouTube know that they need to share this ministry with others. That's the purpose of the thumbs up. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Spotify, YouTube. And if you're a YouTube member, you can follow me on YouTube Podcasts. Shop in the online digital shop. I'm very excited about the work I have been working on when it comes to the Bible companions, because in the shop you have individual Bible companions and you have the workbook Bible companion. So since we are already halfway through the book of Genesis, guess what? Genesis workbook is on sale. It is 40% off. The regular price is $12.99. It is now $7.79. All you have to do is use the link in the description box and go into the online shop and purchase that and download it, and you have it instantly. You do not need to be waiting for anything that comes in the mail. You have it in the instant. So what is inside this workbook? So I want to share this, the 5 main points that is in the workbook, especially the check-in, because in every 6 chapter there's a check-in that is a personal journey on this journey that you're on with the book of Genesis. And that also something that you can share if you want to share. If you don't want to share, that is fine. So that is what you have in the book of Genesis. So that is a way to support this ministry. And don't forget to donate in the love jar. The love jar means you are partnership with me for the growth of this ministry, because there's many things that I have been praying about, and I know it's going to happen because Yehovah has shown me about this ministry, and you can join and be a part of this ministry. So those are the many ways that you can support this ministry, and you can find all this information that we have discussed right in the description box. It is available for you to take a look after the live premiere, during the replay, whenever you need to. All of it's there in the description box. Now, don't forget, at the end of this teaching, that you are able to ask questions about the teaching that is presented today. I encourage you to make your comment and sharing throughout the entire teaching. And your questions that you send, I will answer those questions at the end, so that we will have time for a what we call a Q&A at the end. We always begin with the key points from last week. Now, these key points for last week was, we used to call them um, recaps. So now we're focusing on what the workbook and the sheets that you purchased using that same language. So I'm going to share my key points from last week. So we was on Genesis chapter 32 last week. These are the things that popped out at me. Jacob met the host of angels that might have been possibly two council angels. We talked about this last week because we looked up the name of the place, Mahanaim. And I know I did not pronounce that correct, but you can look that up. But it means two camps. So it was two camps of angels that he possibly has seen. Now, Jacob at this moment wanted to make peace with his brother Esau, possibly because he wanted to live in peace in his father's land. Esau was coming with 400 men. Now, this made Jacob very uneasy. He was distressed, and he prayed to Yehovah. And Jacob, after that prayer, he ended up wrestling with Yehovah himself. And that's when we got to change from Jacob to Israel. That's when his name was changed. Now, in this midst of wrestling, his hip joint, he started walking with a limp, and this turned out to be a traditional meal, which brings me to my insight. So I remember when I first was doing the research in Genesis many years ago, I had to find out, this traditional meal, was it a tradition, or is it something that we will be required to under the commandment of Yehovah? No, we're not required to disregard the muscle of the hip joint of an animal. And that is why I put that question in there, because that's the question I had in the beginning of my journeys. And I know other people have those questions. Now, my other insight, which I love, Jacob's prayer. His prayer was honest, straight to the point, quick and easy. He was able to uphold to Yehovah the things that he has showed him, that he had told him about his path. I really did enjoy that prayer. It might have been small, but it was straight to it, and I enjoyed that. Now, cross-reference Hosea 12:3, and then we have our word study. As usual, I will keep this up for a moment. So those who might want to take a look at it, and then if you want to share your key points, you most definitely are welcome to. If you want to share your insights, your questions, or anything like that, I encourage you. And I thank every last one of you who's already purchased anything in our online shop. Don't forget, there are some free items that you can download also. So just take a look in the online shop and browse around and shop wisely. Now, we are on Genesis chapter 33. Make sure you have your Bible. Make sure you have your workbook or your sheet, your pen, your paper, and all the writing utensils that you might need, because I like highlighters. Genesis chapter 33, we're going to go straight to it. Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came with him 400 men. And he divided children unto Leah and to Rachel unto two handmaids, And he put the handmaids and their children foremost, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Joseph hindermost. And he passed over before them and bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. And Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. So there's a lot actually in verse 1 through 4. So we're going to try to just break it down a little bit. Jacob put his family in order to preference to meet his brother. By the way that it's written, the way we're reading it, at least for me, Esau might have been released from the anger that he had against his brother. He genuinely missed his brother and kissed him. And not only that, both Esau and Jacob had wept. Jacob also seemed like he was genuinely sorrowful for what happened between them, and he wanted to please his brother because remember, he sent him gifts ahead of time. It was like 500 animals that he sent to him as an olive branch to make peace. It's a very expensive olive branch, but he sent out an olive branch. And Jacob bowed before him 7 times till he met his brother. So it's kind of sounding like they both were sorrowful what have happened in the past, and they wanted to make peace. Now, the question that I have: did Jacob feel the love from his brother? Did Esau overdo it? Did Esau feel the love from Jacob? One big question out of this: did Esau break the yoke that was on his neck about his brother? So far, we do know that Esau has some dominion because he is from Esau is the father of the Edomites. So he has his own land, he has his own people. So I remember when Isaac gave this blessing to him because there was no more blessings because Jacob received the firstborn blessing. So this is what Isaac said to Esau for a blessing in Genesis chapter 27, verse 39 through 40. And Isaac his father answered and said to him, Behold, thy dwelling should be the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and thou shalt serve thy brother. It shall come to pass that when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke off his neck. So my question was that yoke now broken? Was it broken because he was eager and genuinely wanted to see his brother? He hugged him and he kissed him and they both wept. Only they know at that moment. We're just guessing what's happening. Genesis chapter 33, we're on verse 5. And Esau, it says in he, so it's Esau, lift up his eyes and he saw the women and the children. And he said, Who are these with thee? And he, which is Jacob, said, The children which Elohim hath graciously given thy servant. Then the handmaids came near, they and their children, and they bowed themselves. And Leah also with her children came near and bowed themselves. And after came Joseph near and Rachel, and they bowed themselves. So Esau seems to be generally interested in all the women and the children that were there. He wanted to figure out who this was. Was it his slaves? Who are these people? Again, he seems genuine with Jacob. Even Jacob's children and his family bowed before Esau. Genesis 33, verse 8. And he said, this is Esau, What meanest thou by all this drove which I met? Remember, he sent all those animals. And he, Jacob, said, These are to find grace in the sight of my Lord. And Esau said, I have enough. My brother, keep that thou hast unto thyself. And Jacob said, No, I pray thee, if now I have found grace in your sight, then receive my present at my hand. For therefore I have seen thy face, as though I had seen the face of Elohim, and thou wast pleased with me. Take, I pray thee, my blessing that thou brought to thee, because Elohim hath dwelt graciously with me, and with me because I have enough. And he urged him, and he took the gifts from him. Esau's questioning why the gifts. Now we understand why Jacob sent the gifts because he wanted to find favor with his brother. He wanted to soothe the issue between them. I believe that Jacob wanted to make peace. He has a family. And the last thing you will want is have to look over your shoulder, watch your back and your family because of this hatred that came out of the situation. Did you notice that Jacob did not apologize? Some would say, well, the gifts that he sent was an apology. And I would say it's more of a peace offering. Now, if Jacob needed to apologize, what exactly is he apologizing for? What would Jacob say? Sorry that I rightfully received the blessing of the firstborn that you have sold to me. I received what you didn't care about. What could he actually say? Don't forget, Esau wanted to kill him, felt deceived by him for what was already rightfully Jacob's because he sold it to him. So it's difficult to apologize for something that actually belongs to you. So I don't think it was about an apology. I think he just wanted to make peace with his brother so he can live in peace. However, Esau did receive his gifts from him. Thankfully, he received this gift from him. And I think this is probably made Jacob feel very comfortable. And we're on verse 12. And he, which is Esau, said, let us take our journey and let us go, and I will go before thee. And he, Jacob, said unto him, my Lord knoweth that the children are tender, and the flocks and the herds with young are with me. If men would overdrive them one day, all the flock would die. Let my Lord, I pray thee, pass over before his servant, and I will lead on softly, according as the cattle that go before me, and the children be able to endure until I come into my Lord unto Seir. So Esau assumed that Jacob was going with him. Now, I assume that maybe he wanted to have a feast with his brother and his family, have some type of celebration, introductions to husbands and wives and children and other people. You know, he might have wanted a big celebration. But I do know that Jacob is now walking with a limp. Remember, after wrestling with Yehovah, he is not walking straight anymore. He has children, and the flocks have young ones also. So does this mean that he needs to take a slower pace? Maybe. But it reads as if Jacob has some intention to meet his brother in Seir in his own timing. Now, I want to bring your attention to Seir because Seir is another place that we will read about continually in the Bible. And matter of fact, we will be mentioning it on Saturday when we go through the book of Judges, chapter 5 at 10 o'clock a.m. So please join me. And if you are liking what you're hearing so far, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. We on Genesis chapter 33, verse 15. And Esau said, let me now leave with thee some of the folk that are with me. And he said, what needeth it? Let me find grace in the sight of my Lord. So Esau returned that day on his way into Seir, and Jacob journeyed to Succoth and built him a house, and he made booths for his cattle. Therefore, the name of the place is called Succoth. Now, Esau was going on and he's leaving, but he wanted to leave support for Jacob. He wanted to make sure that Jacob was safe. Maybe that's the way that things work. Maybe that's why Esau came with 400 men. I don't know if it was a safe journey or not, because Jacob was distressed that it was that many people. So we don't know what Esau's intention was, but he did want to leave his brother with some support. But Jacob doesn't want it. Was this intentional? Esau returned home and Jacob goes in a different direction. So I have a map I want to share with you. So hopefully you can see this map pretty well. If you can't, I just pray that you can see it good. I'm going to bring it up further. And at the very bottom of the map, you see Mount Seir and you see Edom. And that purple line with the arrow, you see Succoth. So that's where Jacob went. As you see, those are two different directions. Jacob went north and Esau went south. So those are the directions that he went. So hopefully that you're able to see that Jacob actually went in a total different direction than Esau. Now, did Jacob want to make peace and head to his father's land, which is what Yehovah told him to do? Go back to his father's land. He did not say to go to Edomites. He didn't even tell him, as far as we know, make things easy with Esau. But this is what Yehovah told him in Genesis 31:3. And Yehovah said unto Jacob, return to the land of thy fathers and to thy kindred, and I will be with thee. So he was told to go to the father's land, his father's land. Now, why didn't Jacob feel or say or withhold this information about going to his father's land? Why did he feel like he couldn't share that with his brother? Would this cause another friction between him and his brother? I don't know. And as far as you and I know, reading it now, we figure we would have handled the situation by telling Esau that I have somewhere else to go. I need to go to the father's land. But we don't know what would have turned out if that conversation happened. I'm not excusing Jacob for withholding this information, and maybe he is deceiving his brother by making his brother think he is going to meet him, or maybe Jacob has some intention eventually meeting his brother one day. But I want us not to ignore the place he journeyed to, Succoth, and Boots, all in the same sentence. You know, it's ironic. For those of you who are not new to the Hebrew roots, they may have picked up on the name of the places already, because the name of the places that we read about is after a name of a feast called the Feast of Tabernacles, Sukkot, Feast of Booths. So if you look up that place, Sukkot, you will read Sukkot in H5523 in Strong's. This again is a feast. It is the feast that occurs on the 7th biblical month on the 15th day. Now, today, we are still in the 4th biblical month and eagerly waiting for the Feast of Trumpets, which happens on the 7th biblical month on the 1st day. So I'm very excited for that to be coming up, and I'm looking forward to all of that information that will be coming on today. Now, we are now on Genesis 33, verse 18 through 21. And so we're almost done on today. 18. And Jacob came to Shalem, a city of Shechem, which is the land of Canaan, when he came from Panorama, and pitched his tent before the city. And he brought a parcel of field where he had spread his tent at the hand of children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money, which is 100 pieces of silver. And he erected there an altar and called it Elohim Israel. Now, he purchased land, he built an altar, and named it Elohim Israel, which is the Elohim of Israel. And you will find that in Strong's H430. Finding ironic because he is, we begin to pray the Elohim of Abraham, of Jacob, and now the Elohim of Israel is added in there. And I don't want us to miss the little pieces that's in Genesis 13 and 33 and 18. The place Shalem. If you look that up, it will say Salem, H8003, a safe place. If you remember Salem, that's the place where Melchizedek, the priest and king, was. That's where he reigned. And you will find it in Psalm 76 2, Genesis 14 and 18. And I'm going to read that. Genesis 14:18. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the highest Elohim. Jacob is now in the land of his father. But at this point, we do know that Isaac is still alive. The children of Hamor, I want to bring that up to you too. The children of Hamor, Shechem's father. Now, these are the children of the Hivites or Hittites you will find in other areas. This come from Canaan's second son, Heth, which is the descendant of Ham. Again, we have Ham and Sham's descendant continue to engage in one another. At this point, Japheth's descendants have not entered in. And when they arrive in the Bible as we read, I will point that out to you if you have not recognized that. Now, if you have learned something on today, I really appreciate you stopping by. And looks like someone is, I guess that's called trolling, but that's okay. I will continue to pray for you and pray for others that will be continue to watch this and give me a thumbs up. And I will see you, hopefully, that I will see you on Saturday at 10 o'clock a.m., where we be going over the book of Judges. We are on chapter 5. I'm very excited about that. And I think I'm going to start doing it on Facebook and on YouTube so everyone can be a part of that. And don't forget that Jehovah is always with us. As always, man does not live by bread alone, but everything, every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Jehovah, and that is the Torah. I will see you once again at 10 o'clock a.m. on Saturday. May Jehovah bless you and have a blessed rest of the week. Thank you.